It's TBD. Somebody bother voting. It's TBD. Hey Ty, Dalt. I think it might be time to go to work.
All right, so welcome to another episode of Live, Laugh, Lariat. This is a special episode because we are crowning a new I don't even know how to phrase this. Bojack is now the most appeared upon guest in Live, Laugh, Lariat history. Taking Mark James. Trey doesn't count because
he's a host now. He's been disqualified from the running. Yeah,
I've had 3.
Yeah, you've had 3, but he's had 4. He had the 8th.
I've had 4. This is my 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trey, this is my 4th episode. Year 3. So I'm the most appeared Live, Laugh, Lariat guest. And yeah, like I said, you're a host now anyway, so either way you're disqualified from the running.
The only way you're getting another episode is if you change your name. So
I'm gonna change the spelling.
So we are here to talk about a very new, exciting wrestling company, TBD, where the B stands for Bo Jizzler.
I mean,
verbatim.
If that's what you want it to stand for, then yeah.
Tyler making his return, Bo Jizzler, and we have Dalton, aka
yeah.
How do you like? So this is my first time ever interacting with you. How would you like to be introduced?
I mean, you can call me Dalt. You can call me Phoenix. If you call me Dalton, Bo will fucking smack the shit out of you. So I mean, I don't know. No, he doesn't like anybody saying my full govy. But
Are you so aggressive?
I just look, man. That's my friend right there, and I just feel some type of way when people just out here in the streets calling him by his government name like that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy to me. They don't know him like that. You know.
It is always weird when that happens because I'm like, I mean, it's fine. That's my name. Like you're not being weird or anything, but like that's kind of awkward. Nobody says that. Like who? My mom. Like, what are you doing?
Is the weird world of wrestling where nothing is real. Like everything that you know is not real. Like
people have work shoot names. So, yeah. Trey. Trey just over there.
The sound that makes is perfect, by the way.
It does.
It makes like very audibly
pleasing.
very audibly pleasing.
This is ASMR for you guys.
Can you give us like 30 seconds of that for a clip?
I got you.
I was 30 seconds. That was 3 seconds.
All right, hold on. We'll flat out for you right now. Go ahead.
You're getting lazy. Come on.
It's good for you as it is for me.
Don't act like if we weren't recording, you wouldn't be doing the same thing. Watching NXT, flipping your beads up.
How do you know watching NXT?
Because you're always watching wrestling. Every time we record a podcast, there's wrestling on in the background.
Student of the game, baby.
Yeah. So, speaking of the game's about to be changed with TBD.
I fucking love you, dude.
Tell everybody all the information they need to know about the March 1st show, which is on my birthday. Happy birthday, Bo. We're here today on your birthday.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So all right, so our first show, TBD presents, or I guess this one is more phrased as TBD Wrestling's Underground Sound. Will be March 1st in Jacksonville, North Carolina, is where I'm from. It's where I've always been from. We'll be at 111 Wilmington Highway, Missing Link CrossFit. You may have seen some stuff from here before. PWF was running there for a really long time. DPW ran a few shows there. And we've always just felt like it was a really cool spot. And as some of y'all know, finding wrestling venues is hard. Much less finding wrestling venues that look good. So we're thankfully we're really lucky that Missing Link just has a cool look and a cool aura about it. So we're really happy to be back in there. Yeah, we have a lot of cool, exciting stuff that we want to do. We've put a lot of planning into this. And like even more planning, like once it became a reality, because this is kind of just something that like we all wanted to do. I've been helping run PWF for like a while, and we've dabbled in running shows before. And Dalt has always wanted to, that was one thing that Dalt always wanted to do was like run a company. It's something me and Ty always wanted to do is run a company. And we all are very like-minded, almost annoyingly so sometimes.
Yeah, Guap.
We're just the same person. I don't want to hear it. We're just the same person.
They're both rocking beanies right now.
I had one. I took it off because I felt like it was too much.
Too many beanies. The beanie photo had been surpassed.
Too many boggins.
Yeah. Me and Trey are the same person too. So so I know a little bit of what they go through. So does Trey. Knows a little bit what they go through. But no, like we all just we all met each other a few years ago and have just like bonded super close since then. And like we all have like scarily similar brains when it comes to wrestling. Different enough that like it's really cool because we all bring a different flavor to the mix of stuff.
Yeah.
But like enough to where like it all gels super well. There's definitely a chemistry there for sure. We did that live stream back in was it September? August?
September.
We did a 24-hour live stream that was to raise money for this. And I don't think people expected the turnaround to be so quick. In terms of like people were like we'd been like talking about it in our Discord, and we were like, oh yeah, we'll have like some stuff coming up soon, and people thought it's like, oh, we're gonna get an announcement before the year is over. It's like, oh, we're running a show in March, dog.
It was very funny because Bo, like on the 31st, put in the Discord, hey guys, we'll have news soon about the company. Don't worry, it won't be too much longer. And then literally the next day was when we dropped we're running March 1st. Here's the company name. Here's the show name. Here's everything.
Can we have a little bit of scoop? Is there any matches? Is there any talent that we can have that is a Live Laugh Lariat exclusive?
I mean, yeah, we can say something on here because I feel like when's this gonna drop?
Next week.
3 weeks later.
Yeah,
we should talk about who we've already announced first. And
yeah, so we as you guys know from based off the announcement that we dropped on January 1st, Bo is obviously a part of this. You saw a couple of names on phones that have kind of lined up with who is going to be along. There's one name that hasn't been announced yet. Maybe Diego Hill will be there. Maybe Dive Bomb won't. That's what TBD is all about, baby. It's TBD. So we currently have announced the super stud BK Westbrook, the it girl Ella Envy, the non-binary icon in Noah Vale. And today we just announced the beauty of chaos, Amanda Kiss. Sorry, Trey, you're not booked. We didn't have it in the budget.
Took my spot. It's okay.
Yeah.
I know how it goes.
We know you're right once you got those beats.
With two of those people, we can actually announce on here that at TBD Wrestling presents Underground Sound on March 1st, you will see the super stud BK Westbrook go one-on-one with the dreadlock demolition machine Bojack. Them high flying star machines are colliding. It's gonna be a hell of a time. So there's your scoop. Call me Ben and Jerry.
At the same time, both of them.
Yeah. I love that. Trey, it looks like you're like the cup that you have makes it look like you're like trying to hide what you're drinking.
Got that drink in my cup.
Yeah.
I was finishing off some passion fruit Malibu that was left at my house from a previous.
Music to my ears. I want some more.
Oh,
Fuck dry January.
so TBD, obviously that stands for Tyler, which welcome. I feel like we haven't heard from you much.
I haven't had a reason to say anything yet.
Because I'm here, so you have nothing to steal, you know?
Brother, we're the same person. Fuck you.
I feel like you could keep this idea. Hi Theo. So you've got Dalt, and then we've got like the fake Dalt, like they had the fake diesel, where you just are like just slightly off.
I can't wait to hear that for the rest of my life. That's awesome.
Oh no, you are, bro. I wear snapbacks and jerseys. You wear beanies and jerseys to commentate. I'm just saying, you took my flow bar for
how
bar,
I am.
bro.
He does wear snapbacks sometimes too. He's got the Goon Squad snapback.
Yeah, bro. I feel like I'm Soldier Boy right now on the Breakfast
Damn.
Club. Drake,
Tyler.
what?
But no, you know, people in the run up have been asking like, what does TBD stand for? And you know, obviously the super like meta joke of it is like, oh, it stands for Tyler Bowen Dalt. If you keep up,
We just want to let you know, the bottom of the screen right here, if you need a replacement for either of these two, you won't have to change your name.
We are both at jeopardy.
Damn right, man.
That's fuck. Hey, bro. Look, guys. This is actually a secret meeting to let you know that you're both being replaced. Sorry. Everything that I said at the start of the podcast about everything that I said about at the start of the podcast about like, you know, us just having like really good chemistry. You know, I really did mean all of that, but like sometimes you just got to go in a different direction. You know,
You weren't talking about our chemistry. You're talking about the chemistry with them. I understand.
Yeah, it was one of those things where in the run up to the announcement, we're like, oh, hey, like, you know, we need a name for this thing that we're doing. And we had a few different names that we were kind of bouncing around. But like we didn't really find anything that we, you know, kind of loved. And I think that's one of the most important things about TBD for all three of us. And is that we want everything that we do, we want to have full faith and belief in.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to put anything out there that we're not like 100% behind, you know? So we bounced a few names around. We spent a long time bouncing a few different names around. We were thinking it like, oh, if this was the name, we could have a logo like this, or like if this is the name, we could do that, blah 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 blah. And like I said, like we found stuff that we liked, and there were a few different names that we settled with at different times, but there was nothing that we loved.
Can we have a few of those? Can you let us know what some of those might have been?
I mean, I remember one of them was like Infinite for a while, but I know there's like a few places already called Infinite.
Then you got to book him.
We could. I have no problem booking them. I love Tim.
Yeah.
But like we couldn't. Like that just like we just didn't love that. There were a few other ones that I don't really remember, but
I think Infinite was the one that we got stuck on for a little bit. It was like, yeah, this is the one. And then
we had a few different concepts with that one too. Yeah.
And then one day we were just chilling on Discord, like, do we really want to do this as the name? And then we just started talking about it even more, and we were like, well, on stream, we always say when anyone asks, we always just call it TBD. Why don't we just call it TBD? Because TBD can honestly, this is the truth about the situation. TBD stands for anything. It's whatever is up for interpretation. It is up to the audience to figure out what they believe TBD stands for, because behind the scenes, we have like 5 different actual meanings for what TBD stands for. We're not going to say it because we like y'all to be creative and to come up with your own meanings. However, it's very much the obvious, like Bo said, joke of Tyler Bo Dalt, but that by no means is the actual truth. We're always going to be calling it TBD Wrestling. There's no acronym or anything along those lines.
They're lying to you. It's titties, butts, and dongs.
How did you know what the secret one was?
Oh, the dog.
Damn it, we've been found out, boys. Time to
delete the Discord. Delete the Discord.
Vegeta cat's been leaked.
No.
But yeah, it's very open to interpretation, open to meaning. But it's definitely on the flip side of that, it's something that it just means it's one of those things where it technically doesn't mean anything, but it also means a lot to us. And I think because of we want that connection like with the people and with our audience, because truly none of all the shit that we do, like Goon Squad, like me, like wrestling, like Tide, all of us, like streaming, anything, like none of what we do is possible without like the people, without our fans, without our community. So that's like a big part of everything going into this, is that our connection with them is so vital to us as people and to this company. So yeah, it's very much like whatever you guys want it to mean is what it means. But also, so
you're talking to somebody that somehow made people say good guy, bad pants in a way that means something. It was a Matt Hardy joke. Matt Hardy's a good guy. His fucking gear is awful. And it's become this thing. So like it's all about like what you said, like what the community and the connection is with it. You also mentioned you're doing things a little bit differently. I don't know if we mentioned this when you were on the podcast last, but I know you said you have a different approach to like how you're presenting the product as well. Is that something you guys could touch on?
The way behind the scenes that I've been trying to explain to people, obviously for those of you that don't know, like my shoot job is doing like YouTube content, and I've been in the content space for about 5-6 years now. I tried like in the wrestling scene, like Bo, Trey, Guap can all attest that like I never go around being like, yo, I got fucking 2 YouTube plaques. Ha 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 ha. Like I don't care about numbers or anything like that, but like I have been fairly successful in my niche to get like over 100K subs on a channel, and then my other channels monetized as well. But it's one of those things where, because I've done this content career path for so long, for like 5 or 6 years, like I said, over the span of 5 to 6 years, I've kind of in my head been like, how would wrestling be presented in a space like YouTube, or a space like content creation type? Like if you take those traditional ideas of content creation and put it with pro wrestling, because to me, that's never truly been done to the fullest of its ability. So I have essentially been telling people as of late, TBD Wrestling is going to be a very content-based pro wrestling company, in the sense that we can say this because I mean, I know we're going to talk about it regardless, but we're 9 times out of 10 never going to be a live streamed company. Like we never want to be live. We want to always be a pre-tape company. We're going to premiere our stuff on YouTube. It'll be on youtube.com/@TBDGraps. Every one of our social media platforms, actually, while we're talking about it, is @TBDGraps. But it's one of those things where we are content-based wrestling companies. So we're going to be very, very, very focused on putting out not just full show or matches. We're very much so going to be putting out videos where we're going to be explaining to you who Trayvon Ali is, what his story is, what Calibus Kingston's story is, what Aaron Cox's story is, what the Path story is, to make the audience that we have cultivated care more about these people, as well as like just anybody on our roster, like Amanda Kiss, BK Westbrook, Ella Envy, Noah Vale, and everybody that's TBD. So it's one of those things where we have a lot of ideas on how to present wrestling differently in the sense of how we're going to go about posting content. Not to say that there's anything wrong with the traditional way of how a lot of independent wrestling companies run currently, but I feel that there is a way to modernize it to the year of 2025 and to do it differently than just say, and with all love to IWTV, like I absolutely love the platform and everything along those lines. But I did not want to be another company on a streaming platform. I wanted us to just go straight to YouTube and just try our luck at that. And that's a big thing where I feel like these days independent wrestling has kind of become the same old, and nobody's really trying to have their own identity in a way. And I feel like just doing what we're going to do with the content-based thing is going to be a way to set us apart more so than anything. And I think that's the big thing that like we all three firmly believe with TBD is that we want to have an identity. Like that's the far and away biggest thing for us is having that identity, because with that identity, we can then build the community that we want to build.
Yeah, and the more cooks you have in the kitchen, the worse it's gonna get. Like,
yeah,
I think in anything, but especially wrestling. The way you mentioned like what you want to do with wrestling, I feel like to kind of parallel like in a different kind of art form, but like stand-up comedy, like the mass of comedians that are producing their own specials. They know exactly how they want to present themselves, and so they're just going to take it into their own hands and do it.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Really cool to
That's because one thing that we feel like, one thing that we again that bonds us all together is we're all big fans of like very niche stuff. Stuff that like, you know, not necessarily saying it's like, oh, it's like unknown and like it's not popular, but it's not stuff that's not like the mainstream type shit, you know. We're very, and like if you follow any kind of Goon Squad content you've seen, like we're very like inspired by like Adult Swim in general, and like just like Cartoon Network as a whole and stuff like that. So we want to like blend elements of that and like elements of video games and like, you know, elements of like, you know, street shit and like skateboarding and like, you know, just different pockets of stuff that we grew up like influencing us and shaping us to the people that we are. We're trying to find ways to blend that with professional wrestling in a way that'll just have that'll help us stand apart. But that's the hardest part about anything these days, like when it comes to professional wrestling, is like standing apart from the pack. You know, that's the hardest part about any aspect of it, from running a show, from being a wrestler. That's the hardest part about any part of wrestling, is what makes you different, what makes you why should I watch your show over like this other show, or like what makes your show different from this other show, blah 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 blah. So that's our biggest goal, is that just going in, we want like off the rip to come at it with a different feeling than anything else that we got going on. That's people will talk about like, you know, regarding not being live. I feel like the biggest thing is we as wrestlers have all these ideas for character stuff that we don't really get to do like in our matches, and that's kind of the only place we have is matches. We're wrestlers, so like, you know, we put on wrestling matches, but we have all these ideas for characters and shit that we don't really get to do other than like, you know, we'll cut promos, but like a lot of time, like, you know, people don't really incorporate it into stuff, or you know, they just kind of get forgotten about, or like they don't have anyone to help. Like a lot of people just don't know how to edit. Thankfully, like we all know how to edit, but like a lot of people just don't know how to edit, and so they need people to like help shape the direction of what they want to do. And so we want to give people that platform, and we want to give people that opportunity to be like, hey, if you have some really fucking out there ideas that just aren't going to be able to be possible for you to incorporate in a wrestling match, let us know what it is, and we're going to help do what we can to help you bring that to life and help further shape your character and like set yourself apart from everything else that's going on.
I think a good way to explain to people, in a sense, is to tell them the original vision that we had, but then we realized that we are very poor comparatively to a lot of other places, and we can't afford to do what we wanted to do. But the original idea for TBD in terms of look and feel is, I want you to imagine Lucha Underground, but then take away all of the lucha and replace it with Def Jam Vendetta. That's the original idea for TBD Wrestling. Is we wanted something to feel very cinematic in a sense, but we were still going to make it feel more probably lesser than a cinematic movie feel, but we wanted it to feel very much like you're watching a show. You're not just watching a normal wrestling thing. Like, you're tuning into this because you know these characters and you want to love these characters. The wrestling is also phenomenal, don't get it twisted. Yeah. But you also love these fucking characters, which I feel like I don't even think we did this on purpose, but I think it's just the natural way we've built our roster. Granted, we haven't announced everybody yet, TBD, but it's one of those things where with our already announced talent, you can kind of tell we're very character heavy because we got the super stud BK Westbrook, which if you ever seen BK, hey man, you know that BK is a fucking crazy over the top fucking character. You know the it girl Ella Envy is a fucking over the top character in her own right. You know that Noah Vale is, for my money, one of the absolute best fucking promos going today on the independent scene, bar none. You got the Beauty of Chaos Amanda Kiss, who I feel like is somebody who hasn't gotten a chance to fully tap in to her character yet on the independents, because like we mentioned, there's not that many places that give talent the right avenue to go about doing, say, vignettes or saying a lot more backstage stuff that you would see. So I feel like being able to help a talent like the Beauty of Chaos Amanda Kiss go deep dive into her character and pull out even more from her character. So when she gets an opportunity at a bigger or better place, she's ready. She's ready to fucking go off with that character. Yeah. That's the shit that gets me going, bro, with this, is like being able to be a place to help people really dive into a character aspect that they're not going to get the chance to other places, because traditional independent wrestling, it is more so focused on the wrestling, which the wrestling is, I feel like to me, it should be a 65. I'm really bad at math, but whatever that equals out to, 35 or some shit. Yeah.
35, yeah.
65-35 split on 65 wrestling, 35 angles, if you will. It's something that, to me, you need that to care about the wrestling, where a great match with great commentary can get you so far, but if you add that level of, oh, I'm gonna whoop your ass because of this, that's where you get the emotional attachment to it, not just the, yo, this match is dope, I love that spot that they just did. So that's kind of what the feeling of TBD is, where we really just want to be a company to not only for ourselves, but just for the talent that we're booking as well, to really help them develop and help them learn their characters and really push forward their characters to a bigger audience. And then that way they can take that package that they put together at TBD and go on to do bigger and better things. Because I mean, we would love to be a big independent. Like, let's not get it twisted. But at the end of the day, we know where we're at. We know our budget. We know where we want to be at and how we want to present. And it's going to be one of those things where as much as like we would love to obviously push goals, and like we do have goals, but it's one of those things where we're never trying to be one of the biggest independents in the world or anything along those lines. Our main goal is to get these people on our roster to the next level type shit. And I feel like that's another thing that's really going to help us out as well, because we're so gun-ho on the talent that we're bringing in, and we want to make this a special place where you hear rumblings at other spots of like, yo, I want to work for TBD. Like, yo, Bo, can you get me into TBD? Yo, Trey, can you get me into TBD? Like that type of stuff, man. That's the atmosphere and the kind of culture that we're trying to bring into TBD.
Yeah. So just to kind of piggyback off that directly, like, look at your championship run in DPW. Like, that was somebody taking a chance. You had everything you needed. You just didn't have somebody to kind of take that chance on you. And
right, exactly. Yeah.
Like, there's so much wrestling. Trey's watching wrestling right now on TV. Like, literally, there's not a day where you can't watch wrestling. And if there isn't a day, you can just pull up YouTube. Like, the odds that people are going to watch just for the wrestling are going to be slim.
Right.
If you and if you also think about it, the reason that we all got into wrestling is because it's fucking soap opera.
Yep.
So like, you guys have the knowledge, which I think a lot of people don't have, about how to create the story Like it's not like, oh, we'll post a promo two weeks out. Like, no, this is going to be ingrained from the very beginning, and everything we do is going to allude to this, and it's going to have a different way to tell you, other than somebody just sitting in their fucking car.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
it was,
like
really
even
cool. But
even like piggybacking off of that real quick, like not to pull the curtain back too much on shit, but like we from the very beginning we have been very precise and very specific with how we wanted to present things. There's a reason why when Bo's last message on his phone in the video pops up, BK's being a dickhead to him. There's a reason for that. Like there's a reason for everything that we're doing with how we're presenting things and how we're trying to bring stuff about. Like we're trying to tell stories and not just the prototypical wrestling way as well, where we have different avenues that we want to attempt to do things. We don't know if they're all going to work, but like at the end of the day, we're of that mindset that we're going to try shit. We're going to throw things at the wall and we're going to see what sticks, because you never know what's going to work until you try it. But in the same sense, it's one of those things where we're very confident in our ability to present, and we're confident in our ability to create, that we feel that a lot of things that we're going to throw at the wall will stick. And we're very excited to get that underway. And like, I think that's been the biggest thing for us at the moment with presenting the company in that conversation, because we very much have all these ideas, but there are a lot of ideas that we can't use until we get our own footage on March 1st. So announcing this January 1st and getting through these months to get to the first show, it's going to be so exhilarating having our own footage to use and like really start to cook on that level with things. So,
and like to piggyback off of that real quick, like there was something that you said in there about like, where we just want to, like, we want to create characters, we want to push characters, we want to push stories. Like, I think that's, and then like Dan, like you said about like, just being noticed off of like good wrestling is basically impossible these days. I think a big goal of TBD is not to be like, obviously, like Dalt said, we have goals, but our goal is not to be the best anything. We're not trying to be better than anybody. We're not trying to be the best this or the best that. It's literally just, we have stories we want to tell. We have people that we believe in, and we think that they're not getting enough chances to like just push their character through. And that's all, just literally all we want to do. We just want to tell cool stories with people that we enjoy being around and whose work that we enjoy. That's all it is at the end of the day. We just want to do something different. That's all it is. We just want to be different. And that's the heart of all of this shit.
Because there's like so many underrated talent just in the, not just the Carolinas, but like in the Southeast in general, that like don't get an opportunity to showcase their ability wrestling or promo wise on shows. And that's kind of what we want to give people an outlet to be able to try stuff out or to get their character out. Like, we've mentioned before, people don't normally get it. And that's like our biggest thing.
I think something very, very unique with the fact that there's three of us running this, and we all three have a different background in wrestling as well. We very much so, like, I came up in the Midwest. I originally was training to be a manager out in Dayton, Ohio. And then I basically got my start doing commentary out in Indianapolis. So I came up in the Midwest scene for about 3 years, and then I moved to North Carolina last February in 2024. So I am not really, like, I haven't been in the South, like the Southeast or or specifically the North Carolina scene up until this past year. And granted, I've known everybody because I've always been around, like I've always come through and stuff, but like living here and like seeing how good this scene is and seeing how good the talent is here, we really just want to give a platform and a showcase to everybody here. So that way, the to me, and this is kind of like a deeper like thought, but to me, a big thing with the independents these days is it's very different than it was 10 years ago, where stars don't really get built like that to me anymore, where you don't really see the back whenever I loved the independents like through and through, like I still do obviously, but back when I was like really like watching it as a kid, like a teenager, loving every single minute of it, like you had so many different levels of stars on the independents. And these days, I really don't feel like that's the case, sadly, because I feel like there's the upper echelon that really get used pretty much everywhere. And then it's kind of like a toss up after there of who really gets used at that point. I think that's something that we really want to tap into is we want to use a scene where, yeah, maybe certain people aren't going to be known to our audience before we start showcasing them, but that's the beauty of it. My favorite thing in pro wrestling is watching a talent within 2 or 3 of my, like the example I always give is Leo Rush. I seen Leo Rush's work at MCW like maybe 4 or 5 matches into his entire wrestling career, and I was like, this guy's gonna be dope. So I watched everything he did from that moment on and watched him progress to be the meteoric rise he went on the independents, to how fast he got signed, etc. Another example that I usually give is Elena Black or Cora Jade. I did the same thing with, where I seen them very early in their career, and to me, that's what I want to help generate in TBD is these younger wrestlers that we all know that just they just need the right person talking to them, or the right match to really get them to that next level. We want to be that place to help them do that. We want to be a place to help all of these talents in this scene get to the next level. And like I said, man, one of the biggest goals for me is I want it to become a thing where it's like, yo, who should we bring in? Yo, let's look at TBD. They always got bangers. Like, they always got the great talent. They always know who's next. Like, I want it to be kind of like that. And I know that's kind of maybe to traditional promoters, that might be a weird thing to say. Like, why don't you want to be the best? Like, why are you even getting into it? But like, honestly, like, to me, it's all about, I want to help develop these people, because that's something I've loved. I love watching the development of people and seeing them become who they are and seeing them become confident. And like, not just because I'm on the podcast, but like seeing Trey's confidence level rise from the beginning of 2024 to the end of 2024. And now Trayvon Ali is like somebody that everybody needs to fucking watch going into 2025. That's the shit right there. Like, seeing that rise in confidence, seeing that rise in, I know who the fuck I am, and now you're going to learn. Like, that's that shit that I really love. And I feel like TBD is going to be an ecosystem that's just full of that energy. And I feel like with that, it's going to build a camaraderie that's going to be really, really dope to have around, and like really a dope feeling to be around. So
I think that's what's weird for us is like, and I think everyone will understand what I mean when I say this. We're coming at this like not from like wrestling promoter brain. We're almost coming at it more from like content creator brain, which is weird.
Yeah.
That like we're all about like the moment creation. We're all about the creation over everything. I'm not really worried about like, oh, I need this guy to be a big star so that I can fucking draw people, blah, 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 blah. I just want to create cool shit and create cool moments for these people. There are some people, and it'll be super obvious, like, you know, for the people that know, there are some people that like we want to use or that we are using, or it's like, hey, bro, this guy might get signed like within a year. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, if that happens, cool. I just want to be able to do some cool shit with him before he leaves. You know what I'm saying? That's like that's our mindset.
Our first announcement was BK Westbrook and Ella Envy, and those are two people who, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind, could easily get a contract in 2025 to any major company.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one of those things where being involved in that, we all had a part in helping out with Ace. I know you guys have talked about that before on here, but one of the cool things about Ace was we were around Jay Malachi all the time. Like that's fucking little homie. Like it's so cool seeing what he has gone on to do at NXT as Javon Evans, and seeing him have all of these moments, and he's so young in his career still. Like the future moments he's gonna have. Like we already have felt it once. And that feeling of seeing, and I know Bo especially has seen like a lot of people like take that leap. Bo be having all these last matches with people. Like it's one of those things where seeing your homies go up to the next level and go to that spot, like that feeling is dope. And seeing it happen is really cool. And we want to be the place that can help orchestrate that can help you rise up in these certain levels. We want to be able to get you to elevate your game. And that means more to me than just that means more to me than just booking anybody to just book anybody. Like, no, I want to, if I'm bringing you in, it's because I believe in you. I want to see you get to the next fucking level. I believe in you as a fucking character, as a wrestler. I want to give you the opportunities to get yourself to where you need to be so you can make the most money in the world in this shit. I want to see you succeed more so than I even want to see myself succeed type shit. And
Is
that,
why,
it's
you
a crazy thing to
Trey?
say. But
Say what?
So is that why you haven't booked Trey, because you just don't see it?
hey man,
Yeah,
TBD, you know, TBD.
Yeah, we'll see.
No, I will say, like, I think this shit's like really cool. Like, it's, and like, to me, from the outside looking in, because I have no affiliation, but from the outside looking in, like, it gives me like a professional wrestling meets like MTV vibe, and it's like, because MTV is all about the content. It's all about like different avenues and different different varieties of things. And I feel like TBD is like a great way for everybody to get their own. It's a lot about individuality, and it's about everybody having their own particular flavor, but being able to mix it all together. Like, as someone who's like, I've talked to you, Bo, about like different ideas and stuff that I've wanted to do as far as like content creation or like vignettes kind of being limited to a minute or less. It's hard. So this sounds like something that someone like me with like the vision of wanting to do more character-based things and not wanting to be the 3-letter or 3 words describes your entire character. It sounds like something for people like that.
And that's
No,
the thing, like,
exactly. Yeah.
with promos, you're told keep it under a minute, but like that platform isn't made for telling a story. It's made to maybe make you care about the match if anybody watches it. Like, to be able to like kind of point out like Drop a Fella Records, like they're doing unique stuff with their promos. They're doing stuff that makes people want to watch and tune in. And I think another thing you mentioned, Lucha Underground, but like you said, you're not a typical promoter. Like, this isn't necessarily for the people in North Carolina. It is, but it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be a place where you can follow along like a fucking Netflix show.
Yeah.
As opposed to just like, oh, I got to see what the next match is on the next show, or I can't wait till they drop this match from this show, or are they ever going to drop that match from this show? It's been 2 years and we still haven't seen the footage.
There's a
Bojack
big thing.
content.
There's a big thing where like obviously the goal I think for us is we would love to be able to afford one day to be able to run like, say, bi-weekly almost, to a sense of we would like to tell more stories. But like that, I think that would be one of our biggest goals at the moment, is to get to that point where we can tell more stories, because as you said, like, we want this to feel like a show. Obviously we're going to be telling stories essentially monthly, but the way that we're planning on presenting our shows, we're going to do so in a way where it's not just we're posting a full show, here's the one video, and now you don't get no more content until we get to our next show. Or we're posting our full show, here's this match cut out from it, this match cut out, this match cut out. Like, we have so many ideas that we're going into this with, where we're going to have, I'm not going to spoil it, but we're going to have like a lot of interesting ideas to not only facilitate a full show being posted, not only to facilitate bonus matches being posted, but also, like I said earlier, telling like the stories of who these people are, going in depth with a feud in ways that I feel like other companies don't have the opportunity to do, because of being a live streamed company or being a company that's more so focused on the traditional side of wrestling, because we're very untraditional with how we're presenting this, and we know that. And like, honestly, like, it might not work out. Like, that's a risk that you take going into something like that. But something I've learned when it comes to doing the content creation over the last 5 years is you can't hesitate. You gotta jump off the ledge. And it's like that scene at Into the Spider-Verse. You gotta jump off the building, and you gotta find out if you're gonna fly through and you're gonna catch yourself on a web, or if you're gonna fucking splat. And if we splat, we splat. But at least we took the chance. And I mean, with everything that we have planned, I'll be honest, I feel like we got a good little bit before we splat. You know, that building's pretty tall that we're jumping off of. So it's gonna be really dope.
So I'm sorry.
I'm so just real quick, like, just to bring like another aspect into it of like, like incorporating, more stuff from characters is like something else that I realized, like bringing back more wrestler brain into it is like it's hard to do that during a live show because you need to keep the energy going.
Yeah.
And like so you can't have fucking three people coming out cutting promos during a live show because you need to keep that energy going. And
Yeah.
like you don't want the energy to die down, you don't want it to lull out where because we're gonna be doing this in post, the live show is gonna run like a live show. But when you're watching the finished product, there will be stuff in between that breaks up the monotony a little bit and breaks up. So it's not just like match, 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 match.
Yeah.
That like that's why we're doing it the way that we're doing it because we understand. First of all, not everyone is good at doing live promos like that in front of crowds, and
Yeah.
also just more so the time that it takes to do that. It takes a very like skilled, masterful person to be able to go out in front of a live crowd, cut a live promo, and keep the energy rolling so that the energy doesn't die down from the show. So we understand why like more people don't do it. But that's why we're trying to do stuff the way that we're envisioning is just so that we can kind of meet in the middle of these things.
And like obviously with me being involved as well, it really doesn't take much to understand like my influences when it fucking comes to wrestling. Like, hold on. Like I got this in my backdrop the whole time. Like watching ECW and being obsessed with ECW, like the original run of ECW for so long. Like ECW was what ECW was, not just because of the wrestling, but because you had Cactus Jack looking down the barrel of a camera. You had Stunning Steve Austin looking down the barrel of a camera. You had Raven. You had Dreamer. You had all these people that were just bona fide good fucking promos. You had Terry Funk giving away everything on that camera, and it's like that feeling that you get from that is something that we want to really transplant into our product, and we want to do so in ways that are very like untraditional to pro wrestling. And it's something that Bo mentioned earlier, like with our influences. Like one of the big influences we have, which is I feel something that's not really ever kind of correlated with wrestling that much, is like a big influence is skateboarding and like the way that skateboarding videos have been made. And like one of my favorite pieces of media ever is a skate video that got put together during the pandemic called Godspeed by Devontae Jolly. And like there's so many like little things content wise from that my brain picked up and was like, yo, this would be dope for wrestling. This would be dope for wrestling. And I think that's that in itself is a good thing for TBD, is that we all have that brain. Like talking with Bo and Guap for so long, like they might not have done the YouTube side of content creation in terms of like to the level that like I have or anything along those lines, but like they have done it enough and been around me enough and vice versa to like understand like the key to YouTube is watching something that's not even in your niche and being able to break down why this is good, and then being able to take that aspect and put it to your niche and not take anything but use it for inspiration to then bring up your own ideas that you have and use quite literally the technical aspect of what you're looking at. And skateboarding is a big thing for us when it comes to that, in terms of like look, feel, the in-between moments, not just when they're fucking hitting a kickflip to fucking Manny or anything like that. Like the in-between, like when you land that trick and you pan over and all your fucking homies are rushing in to jump on you, like, yo, you fucking did it. Like that emotion, that feeling, like putting that in, injecting it into wrestling. And wrestling being genuinely, in my opinion, the greatest art form that there is for getting emotion. I feel like that is going to be so fun to play around with, because at the end of the day, like all three of us very much so believe that we are storytellers and that we love to tell a story. There needs to be a beginning, there needs to be a middle, there needs to be an end. There needs to be a fucking very, very, very good climax.
Pause, bro.
Those things where okay, all right. Come on,
I'm
man.
sorry.
Come on,
I'm sorry. I'm
Come
sorry.
on, man. there needs to be these elements to these stories that we gotta tell. And like I think something that benefits us a lot is that obviously we've come up with a ton of storylines for other companies that we've been a part of. And we've sat down and we're like, yo, Okay, how do you come up with stories? Okay, how do you come up with stories? Okay, well Dalt, how do you come up with stories? And then we just sit there and we really have, we all three kind of have a different process to it, which that lends itself to an amazing workflow as well, because I've learned through content. Obviously, I was a part of a group for a long time with Vibe, but you learn that the best things to me is when you're with other creatives and you're in a almost like a think tank, and you're bouncing ideas off of one another. And sure, this idea that I'm about to say isn't the greatest, but it's a vehicle to get us to get to that great idea. Like one thing leads to another, the domino is going to fall, and by the end of it, we had a big old explosion of dominoes. It's great, and we came up with a banging idea. So I think that in itself is something that I feel is very useful for TBD, with just all the, it's so weird like how similar we all three are, but like at the same token, we're very, very different with our actual processes of how we come up with stuff and how we feel about stuff. Like Guap's not really a music guy like that, in terms of to the level that me and Bo are, where we're psychopaths about it. And like that's another big thing with TBD too, is like we're going to be very music oriented and very music heavy. A lot of companies do not want to use copyrighted music because they want to make money, and that's 100% understandable and respectable, and get your bread, baby. We, on the other hand, we care more about the creative vision, which, you know, will bite us in some ways, but we will make it back in others. And it's something that like me and Bo really have gone in depth with, and like no bullshit, there's at least 1,000 different songs I feel at this point that we've come up with that would be really good.
If it's
like,
not yet, it's
crazy.
fucking getting there. It's crazy.
Yeah, like there's and we work out of a Discord server that we have all these organization tools, and like there's specifically 2 that are made just for us to link music, and they
every day we're adding stuff to it every day.
It's literally, I'll wake up, I'll look, and there's like 7 new additions every single day to this folder.
Yeah, he wakes up after missing a meeting, you know, it's crazy.
I wouldn't have missed that meeting, just saying,
you know.
Damn, Trey, you making that case even better, big dog.
I feel like I've got bigger shoes to fill. Like Trey might have an easier job than I do.
Thank you.
I do, and I know we said piggyback. That's the theme of this episode. But I've done like graphics, and my other ventures are more creative in the aspects, and I'll like do a graphic that I think is like, this is fucking sick, and I'll take it to the person, and they'll have something that they're gonna like, a critique, and it almost always makes it better, and it makes it like 10 times better than it ever was, even though it's a little bum, like, oh, they don't see my vision. No, they're building on your vision, and I feel like that seems like what you guys have. And then to further piggyback, I think if you're not doing it for yourself, it's not gonna if I'm making a joke, I'm making it for me first. If I'm doing something, I'm doing it for me first. And then you'll find your community, and that's where you want to be. If you're trying to be something for somebody else, you're going to fucking fall flat on your face. But that seems like what you guys have, is that you're just trying to pop the boys in a way. Just like you're just trying to like make each other laugh and make each other say, oh, that's fucking rad. And
that's a big thing, man, is like with what you just said, like in terms of you got to do it for you. That's something that, like, no bullshit, like I lost in myself for the last like 3 years, like just speaking honestly, because doing YouTube and like doing YouTube professionally, and like really like that's how I make my living. Like there is a thing that happens where you become more obsessed with the analytics, and you become more obsessed with the numbers, and like the roboticness of it. You lose yourself in it, because you're more worried about the Mr. Beasting a video, if you will, of I need this to hit this amount of views. Like, and that's something where I haven't uploaded since August. Granted, like my life took a miserable turn in 2024, but it's one of those things where decompressing from all of that, and like kind of like trying to,
I'm on camera, just so you know.
Trying to read.
I unmuted my mic. I didn't realize that came through. I'm sorry.
Trying to
So does this mute button not work?
Apparently fucking not.
I guess not, Guap.
Right.
trying to
Sorry.
decompress my brain from that
We're
is
live, pal.
one of those things where it's like, yeah, man, I lost myself for a while where I only thought about how can I make this video the best it can be for this audience, rather than it's very funny you mentioned that in that exact verbiage, because there was a YouTube short that actually popped up on my feed a couple days ago, specifically talking about music. And it was like Tyler, the creator, was talking, and he's like, I know that I'm good at what I'm doing. I'm making this shit for me. I know the people will be there if I make it for me. If I start making it for the people, that's when it's going to get skewed, because then I second guess my intuition. And like, that's something that I feel very confident in going into 2025 with TBD, that like none of us are doing this for anybody except ourselves. Honestly, like this is solely, we want to see what we want to see out of the wrestling business, because obviously Bo, out of all three of us, has been doing this a lot longer and a lot more successfully. Like at the end of the day, me and Guapo are just commentators, but like we've also been around for a little bit now, and like we all have experienced wrestling in different scenes and shit like that. So we see what we don't like and we know what we do like. So it's more so like, let's present what we like and what we want out of this. And that's why you see the Adult Swim references. That's why you see the Cartoon Network references. That's why our logo is very much so a cartoon. Like it looks very much like that and it's stylized like that. Which shout out to Sid Sangry Bomb on Instagram for cooking up our logo. They absolutely killed that shit. And like it's such a unique logo to me, because like it doesn't feel like wrestling, but it also feels like wrestling in a sense, where it's like you see it and you're like, whoa, that's different. Like that doesn't feel like every other logo I've ever seen in wrestling. That really feels like a unique thing that's tied to this entity, which I feel like is really dope.
To go off of like, believing in yourself and believing in your vision and believing in your work. Again, going to use Trey as an example. We just had this conversation like a day or two ago where we were talking about Trey's growth over the year, and we all collectively agreed, and Trey, I don't think you would refute this, where I think it clicked for Trey and what really like initiated him pushing himself to the point where he's at is when he finally started to believe in himself and his own abilities. I think for a long time, Trey was trying to meet a mold that other people thought he needed to be in and like fit this role that other people gave him. And it's like, hey, I think you should do this. I think you should do this, blah, 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 blah. I think you just finally hit a point where you know who you are as a person and as a character, and you are fully comfortable in like not to the sense that like you don't still think you can get better. We can always get better.
Yeah.
But you got to a point where you were confident. And then that's when you started turning the fuck up. And then that's when your attitude changed. And then that's what got you to the point where you are now, is that it took all of trying all this different stuff until you finally found what worked. And and it takes a little bit. You'll find what works. And then like, just because of the way our brains are, we'll go away from it for a little bit and just be like, I don't know. I got to keep switching it up, blah, 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 blah. And then you have that epiphany. It's like, nah, back when I was doing this is what was working. Yeah. And so then that's when you lock in. And it's like, this is me. This is what works for me. This is what I need to do to push forward. And so that's what Trey did. And that's why Trey is where he's at right now and is going to keep growing, keep going forward throughout this year and years to come, is because he believes in himself. And that's what we want to do. We don't ever want to do anything that we don't believe in. And we ever have an idea that we're not like sold on. Again, we're going to take some chances, but if we have anything that we're not sold on, we're not going to do it. Because like if we're not enjoying it, then why would we put it out to the people?
Yeah.
And it's a good relationship that we have as well, because we've already ran into things like this that I'm about to talk about. But because obviously this isn't a one-man group, this is three different individuals that have three different viewpoints on things. We have different perspectives and we have different opinions, and that can lead to certain people not liking something and vice versa. But because we're all three so very much like-minded, we all agree that like we can have conversations, like we can respectfully debate why we think this point should stick or why this point shouldn't stick. And we know that we can take criticism, and we can very much so take that criticism and be like, okay, cool, I see your point. I still feel strongly about this, but I'll concede on that because now I understand where you're coming from, and that makes a lot of sense on that point. And it's one of those things where I feel like it's a very healthy thing that we're all three going to be able to avoid the pitfalls that I feel kind of plague any type of like group, whether it be music, like whether it be anything, like it's something that I feel like is an issue where if you can't take criticism while doing a group project, even like going all the way back to like school days, like if you were doing a group project in school, like that was always an issue if people couldn't take criticism. And like thankfully all three of us can, because like we've been homies for so long. Like we can bullshit with one another. We can shit talk one another. I'll make fun of Guap for missing meetings all the time. Like it's fine. Like, we joke around. We bit. He steals all my stuff. It's fine.
Insane, by the way.
but like on the real though, like we've all in the lead up to all of this, we've all had moments, and then not even TBD, just to take it like a step further, we've all had conversations about our own stuff going on and TBD where we've had ideas or like things that we're doing, and we'll bounce ideas off of each other because we know that we can trust each other's opinion. And we've had to have moments where it's like, hey, I don't think that's going to work how you think it's going to work because blah, 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 blah. And then whoever's idea it was that's like, getting the critique, we have to take that second. It's like, oh shit, I didn't even think about it like that, because we all, it's like you said, we're all so very much the same, but so very different, where we'll get to the same endpoint. How we get there is so different, and that's what we need to hear is this bit of what's different.
If you think about it, like if you're pushing, like I think ideas are the one thing where people don't think you need help. Like if I'm pushing a car, I'm gonna want help. Like I don't want the sole credit for that. I want the job to get done. And the sooner you look at that's what the process is in anything, you're gonna be better. Because like any time that I've had an idea, and I've like, for instance, on the Bidet Boys and stuff, I take it to Jordan and I said, hey, he'll have something to add to it. It always makes it better. Like it never makes it worse. So I think that's great. I would like, we've mentioned a lot about like skateboarding and Adult Swim. I think we all can agree that Tony Hawk's Underground may be one of the greatest games of all time. Like story mode, unparalleled, like free play, just amazing. You guys are in Tony Hawk Underground. Who's that sponsor that you want the most? Like who do you want to be riding?
Oh, first one that comes to mind is DGK, Dirty Ghetto Kids all day, baby. That's probably the first one that comes to my mind. Either DGK or Element is the one.
Tyler?
I was gonna say Element. Element was mine.
Of course you were. That's crazy.
Sorry.
See what I deal with, right? I know. You could have said
I see what you mean, dog. I see what you mean, dog.
Third House, Tony Hawk's brand, dog. Like, what do you think? You could have said audio. You could have said any of that shit. No, you said, oh, I want to be Ben Margera. Like, shut up.
If
I
you
grew up watching Jackass. Fuck you. That's what I like.
I got a new nickname for you. Are you ready? You like the Mighty Ducks? You guys like that movie?
Yeah.
We got D2 over here.
Yeah.
So my actual, like, my shoot name is Dalton Derrick. I've been called D2 forever.
Oh. You're taking that from him now too.
I know. Crazy Guap. You piece of shit. I can't have shit.
I didn't even pitch the idea.
Trey, what do you have to say about this development?
Damn.
Thank you.
It was going back to the Tony Hawk talk. Obviously, TBD Wrestling presents Underground Sound. We've obviously gone with a very Tony Hawk Underground 1 theme for the show. We fell into that. And we've talked about this on stream, so I don't mind talking about it here. The original idea for the first show name was not Underground Sound up until like 2 weeks before we launched. It was not Underground Sound. It was actually going to be called On Time, based off of the Metro Boomin song that came out with John Legend, and I think Future was on that, or Future might have been on Superheroes and Villains. But it was based off of that, and all of like the graphics were going to be like how the cover was with fire and all that. And then Bo sent to the messages Underground Sound by Joey Valence and Bray, and I was like, yo, hold on. This is kind of fire. And my homie Chris, he had a Tony Hawk Underground flip that he made years and years ago in Photoshop, and I hit him up and I was like, hey, you mind if I use this? Because like he had sent it to me like 2 years ago as like a Christmas present, because I would always talk about it. I'd be like, yo, if you're not using that, let me get that. And I hit him up and I was like, hey, you know, like we're running this wrestling show, would you mind if I use the Tony Hawk Underground logo flip that you made and then flip it? And he was like, absolutely, like go ahead. I was like, big bet. So then I turned it into the TBD Wrestling presents Wrestling's Underground Sound, and it's so sick that like immediately everybody got it. Like it was one of those things where like with the logo, I figured it was going to get across, but like even so much so of the BK shooter being the kickflip on the logo or on the cover of the game is like, I'm so happy people like resonated with that the way that I thought. And like we're psychos, so on our Instagram, whenever we're announcing talent, we're only using songs in the post from the original soundtrack of Thug. Like we're going like crazy step further. Like we had Bo Easter egg in the announcement video we dropped. Bo was at Missing Link CrossFit Gym. That's the building we were going to be running at. That's the building he was at. So as he comes around that the white wall that you see behind him, we actually had a photographer there with Bo while he was filming, and they took pictures of the building. So all of the graphics that we're using for Underground Sound are on the actual building that we're going to be running in. Like that is the Missing Link building.
And
like
we're psychos, and I promise you, until like we have told people that, I promise you there's a bunch of people that didn't even know.
No,
but
not at all.
we care so much about that attention to detail that like, oh, this is something that we can do and it's cool as fuck. Let's do it. No one is gonna, we could have just Google imaged a brick wall and like, you know, whatever, it probably would have had the same outcome. But this means so much to us that we're like, it's a brick building. We gotta get pics from the actual building for the graphics.
And like we even went a step further to where like I sent Bo the actual like I was sending him like reference photos and shit from the Thug like
these are the shots we need.
Yeah, I was like get this angle so like you see half of the building coming off, so that way for the flyer we can put somebody up right here and somebody over here. Like make sure you get that in the shot so that way it'll all look fire. And then Bo sent me the Google Drive with all of these pictures, and I was like, yes, I have so much to work with. Like that I know you were talking a little bit earlier, Dan, about the like graphic design work and all that. I off and on have done wrestling match card like EFED, TEW, like graphics, fantasy booking, wrestling match card graphics and all this shit for like probably since I like could use the computer, I guess. Like I remember being in Printmaster 5 in 2004 making posters for my action figure matches. So like now fast forwarding to like the work for TBD, putting together all of these graphics and like making all of the graphics for the company has been such a crazy like full circle moment of like just every time I'm dropping these graphics on the social medias and people are liking it and they're fucking with the vision and everything like that, it's like such a dopamine hit of like, yo, this is pretty cool, man. That's pretty damn cool. I like this.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely feel the like it just goes back to doing it for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You build it, they will come. And speaking of building it, I want to hear from each of you guys. We're going to go from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. What is your ideal Adult Swim lineup?
Okay.
Going to, so you got about.
Are we talking all time?
Yeah, like if you could build like a perfect night of Adult Swim programming, what would it be?
Ooh, man.
Oh, that's such a good fucking question.
It's a great fucking question.
Oh my
wow, because I'm thinking about like episode length and everything like that. Like,
so here let me come at it for like first. I think I already kind of got mine. So I was always a big Adult Swim kid, but I was a really big Toonami kid. All right,
that's fair.
So these won't be like in the order that they're like what they would have aired, but this
Yeah.
is just like the order that I wanted in. So you got to have some Cowboy Bebop in there. Honestly, you need like at least 2 episodes of Cowboy Bebop. So like that's an hour. I don't care. You got to have some Cowboy Bebop in the lineup. I'm also gonna throw some Aqua Teen Hunger Force in there. That's that show is so out there in the best way possible. I'm gonna throw a kind of weird one in there. I'm gonna throw a single episode of Squidbillies in there. Because like I think me living in the South, I have an appreciation for how like overtly Southern Squidbillies is.
Oh shit.
And then I'm gonna end with a kind of niche anime called Fooly Cooly. That's like almost like an Adult Swim like exclusive like anime. But it was like one of the first animes that I'd ever watched start to finish. It's only 6 episodes, and a lot of it doesn't make any sense, but that's kind of the point. And it has like a bunch of like hidden meanings and stuff. But like it hit me at a weird point in time when I was like figuring out, like I was like a preteen, and so like you got a lot going on in your brain, and I'm like, yo, this is like a cool thing that I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
So mine, I don't know if this is gonna fill the time slot, but I have a few different shows that I feel like you could just put on a couple episodes and it'll be fine. So I feel like you kick it off, and they're coming. I believe they're coming back. I believe they announced they're coming back. Family Guy. I feel like you kick it off with a couple episodes of Family Guy. And then from Family Guy, you move into, in my opinion, a classic, a staple. You got to move into some Robot Chicken. You got to put in a couple.
That's the one that I missed. Yeah,
you got to put some Robot Chicken in there, and then coming off a Robot Chicken, I would put in a new one. I'd put in Smiling Friends. I would 100% put Smiling Friends on there, and then coming out of Smiling Friends, I would go ahead and go with the Boondocks. I would throw in some Boondocks.
Oh,
yeah. Shut up, Bo. Shut up, Bo.
Yep. I'd throw in some Boondocks, and then coming off of Boondocks. This is where it gets crazy. Coming off of Boondocks, I would go with some episodes of Loiter Squad.
Damn it!
And then,
son of a bitch! I was like, please do not say Loiter Squad. Please do not say Loiter Squad.
And then coming off of Loiter Squad to end it all, Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Okay. Yeah, that's fire.
Because I was gonna come at it. I was gonna be like, most of what I was going to say has already been said by Bo or Dalt, so I was going to be like, all right, well, I'll throw in Loiter Squad. Eric Andre show's got to be on there.
Eric Andre's a good one. Yeah.
Good pull.
Damn, I just had it and it left my brain. Oh, it's kind of what you're talking about, but like, wasn't there a Birdman show where he was a lawyer?
Yeah.
Harvey
Harvey
Birdman.
Yeah.
That one I think would be fun in there. Bob's Burgers throw in there. Yeah, I'm just trying to throw in ones that weren't said.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think there was one, and I don't remember the name of it, but I just remember how fucked it was, and it was a show about. Oh, is it Mr. Pickles? Is that the name of the show?
Oh, bro, Mr. Pickles me out,
dude. One that I was thinking about, but ended up not putting on. There were two. I was gonna say Mike Tyson Mysteries because that shit was so fucking fun. Yeah. That was so fucking fire. I really enjoyed Black Jesus when it was out. I thought that was so pretty funny. Good.
Yeah.
Black Dynamite was good too.
Oh fuck yeah.
You guys remember Moral Oral?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a good ass question. That's why you get paid the big bucks in the podcast world, baby.
I lose money on.
Hey, don't we all? The rents do, baby. The lights are going out.
The lights are
so blackout, baby.
So obviously, since we're Adult Swim as well, we've mentioned that like Cartoon Network is a big influence. What would y'all's Cartoon Network lineup be if you could pick from all time?
Foster's Home.
I feel like this one's gonna be the one where like me and Bo are probably gonna say the exact same shit for the most part.
I was gonna say I think we should just name stuff because Ed and Eddie is gonna be on mine.
Foster's is definitely on mine. Regular Show is definitely on mine.
Regular Show is on mine. See, this is where we're different. I'll have Adventure Time on mine, but you never got into Adventure
Oh
Time.
yeah, I don't really. Yeah, I never really got into it at all.
That's-
I would
that's
definitely
what
throw We Bear Bears for sure.
We Bear Bears is on mine.
Yeah. Was Steven Universe was on Cartoon
Steven
Network,
Universe
right?
Cartoon Network. Yep.
Okay,
Steven
yeah.
Universe is definitely
Guys
on
remember
mine.
my gym partner is a monkey.
Dude,
a good one.
that shit hit so hard for me as a kid. I love that shit. Uncle Grandpa was a weird one, but a good one.
Yeah.
Ben 10
Yeah.
for sure.
Benton,
You got to have Powerpuff Girls on there.
Gotta
John
have Power.
Bravo.
Dexter's Laboratory for me.
Oh yeah, Dexter's Laboratory.
Hey, shouts out moms. Shouts out
Courage
moms.
the Cowardly Dog.
Code
I'm
code
surprised
name
Bo didn't say that one. I'm surprised Bo didn't say Courage the Cowardly Dog.
code name Kids
where you
Next
going,
Door.
Oh yeah.
I remember watching the first episode of this when it aired because I'm old as fuck. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Oh, that's
Oh hell yeah!
a great one.
Yeah. That is a really good pool. Dude, oh
Fuck
man.
up, Trey.
Dude, that Adult Swim question was so good. Fuck, that really got me thinking because I was like, how would I put this
I have a
together?
random deep cut Cartoon Network show, and it's Whatever Happened to Robot Jones.
Oh, that's a good one,
Yo,
actually.
hey, Dalt, do you remember Chalk Zone?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
Of course.
bro,
Rudy
Lyman the
Tabooty?
Coconut?
Rudy Tabooty?
Danny Phantom.
Oh, Danny Phantom was
Danny
my shit.
Phantom.
I know
Bro.
me and Bo agree with this shit. Like,
Yeah.
one of our favorite things of all time is fucking Avatar The Last Airbender, which Tyler El Guapo is a punk ass bitch that's never seen it.
Hold on, I did start
fuck?
watching it. I just haven't finished. I did start watching it.
How
He
the fuck
found
did you
out
watch
that
that and
the
not
adult
finish?
was watching it, so he's like, "Let me."
I did start watching it. You can ask Bo. I did start watching it.
You gonna finish it when Big Baby in college, bro.
It took you too long to start watching it, but
You're
he is
right.
watching it, so
I'm not saying you're not wrong. I'm just saying I did
All right.
start it.
as long as you admit to your transgressions, and we can move on. But
The council does not agree.
For real.
look, Ty, he got the beats. I can't argue, bro.
Look, no one's gonna tell him shit. He got beads
I gotta-
on. Who the fuck?
I gotta
gonna tell
go with
him?
I gotta go with what's said, bro. I can give my opinion, but like,
He got beads on. What am I gonna say?
Damn right. I am the High Council.
oh shit.
That's what we should call this. Me and Trey gonna get high. We'll call it the High Council.
Oh, that's kind of
Bruh.
fire.
Yo,
Any of you
that's
guys
just,
want to come on my new version of this called Stone Circle? Any of you guys?
Oh, genuinely, Dalt would love to be on that for real. Like, I don't partake in the grass.
Yeah.
but Dalt would love to.
just to help me
I
sleep,
unfortunately
guys.
do not
That's all.
partake either, so I can't join as well.
Yeah, Guap, you want to steal that from me, you motherfucker? You want to take addictions from me now? You want to
No.
take addictions?
I literally just said no.
It's not an addiction, it's a dependency. It's different.
Yeah, damn right.
It's a coping mechanism, okay?
I need this to sleep.
Trey, peer pressure. Will you get high with us?
I will get comfortably numb.
Shouts out Pink Floyd. Shouts out.
Bro, hold on, let me see if I can show you.
Are you smoking without me?
No, it's to help me sleep.
Listen, motherfucker. We're taking this upstairs.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle.
I've like that was
He goes, "Oh, we're doing it now. We going now?"
Oh, my bad.
I
I thought that's what we was doing.
was kind of hoping I would be your first.
Oh no, you would no, not at all.
Damn.
I smoked it. I smoked at 16. I just don't smoke anymore because I like my
Steve-O,
lungs.
They're high.
as
We're
an
low.
adult.
Sorry about that.
Huh?
I feel a little uncomfortable being up here.
Yo, it's so I don't like it. Put me back now.
I've been in the same spot the whole show. I don't know what I'm
Put me
talking
back.
about.
You were literally the same spot you had been, Dalt.
Oh no, I'm T.
Ah! Okay, there we go.
Wow.
It's
Oh,
BBD.
No.
now you stealing Dalt's fucking place on the podcast.
Damn right,
Crazy.
Jesus
What
Christ,
are you doing,
Tyler.
bro?
It's actually DDBTT.
Oh my god.
Bill,
This
I
has
take
been.
back. I do a lot of my shit out of spite.
I've done nothing but kind things for you, Trey.
I love you. I love you, Dan.
I'm bringing Joe Black in to wrestle with you.
No, I'm going to die that day.
So he told me about it. He is gonna get fucked up that day. That's for
Yeah.
real.
Bruh, I'm gonna be
He gonna
so
try to
fucking
survive.
sore.
They're gonna make you earn those beads.
I'm gonna be so sore from just scrapping. Like I'm complaining a lot. I'm not a bitch. Like I'm gonna be scrapping, but I'm gonna be sore after. Like they're not gonna beat my ass, but I ain't gonna be sore after. Like,
we should probably do a real ending for real though, because Ty's
Yeah.
gotta go to work too.
Yeah.
okay.
So
Hey, are we could just kick Guap out and go to a full
No,
hand
no,
boot, baby.
no. I
Hey,
I
hey.
still have TBD. TBD still gonna be here without Tyler. Hey.
Well, this is still DBT, you know.
Thank you. Okay.
Damn right.
There we go.
I am
There
the new. Oh,
There we go.
You're
There
the
we
new
go.
host.
TBD.
Don't we're the new host of Live Laugh
Yeah.
Lariat.
Lariat.
But in all seriousness, this is your moment to, if you've made it this far and you're still not sure about this project, like what the fuck. But like, here's your elevator pitch. Like, just here's a platform. Use it. I guess I should say. You don't have to do anything with it. But
Well, hey man, March 1st, Jacksonville, North Carolina. If you are around the area, by all means, we would love to see you come out to the Missing Link CrossFit Gym. Go to TBD Tix. That's TBD Tix.eventbrite.com. That's BRITE on the Bright to get tickets. Now, if you're not in the area, but you heard this podcast, or if you've seen a stream, or if you've seen us on a Twitch clip or a Twitter clip or something, and you want to support us, we also have a section on our ticket site to where you can go in and support us via donating to the company. All proceeds will be going to funding TBD Wrestling. We have a lot of dope stuff coming up. All of our social medias, you can find us at TBD Graps. That's TBD GRAPS. We have so many announcements coming out from now until we launch the very first show on March 1st. We are a content-based wrestling company that you're going to be able to find all of our content on youtube.com/@TBDGraps. It's going to be a wonderful time, man, whenever we start launching content. It's going to be very accessible for everybody to see. We're really not going to put too much stuff behind a paywall that's not extra. Like, we're probably going to launch some extra exclusive little like behind the scene bits where we might, you might see a couple people behind the scenes in the locker room talking a little mess, but that's for like obviously the people that are going to be supporting more so. But like full shows and things along that nature, we're always going to make sure that it's fully accessible, fully accessible, so everybody can get eyes on the talent that we have at our company. If you would like to sponsor our very first show, TBD Presents Underground Sound, shoot us an email, tbdgraps@gmail.com, or hit us up on any of our social media platforms, Twitter or Instagram at TBDGraps. We'd love to talk a little game with you and get your logo.
We love shouting out the homies.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We got a
exclusive here. Bad Pants Media will be a sponsor of.
Oh, we love money.
Yeah, not a lot
We
of it.
love bad pants.
Bad pay.
Get Trey's Venmo. No, but seriously, we'll work something out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we got a sponsorship announcement tomorrow, don't we? Or is
Yep. Tomorrow, 1/8/2025. As you hear this,
when this comes out, it'll already be announced. But as
Yep.
of recording, we have an
Okay,
announcement
so we can
coming out
talk about
tomorrow. Yeah.
we
can-
our very first sponsor for TBD Graps is the We Are QQT's Twitch group, ran by the Big Milk Man, as well as Resi Rez It is a great Twitch community. We essentially are always linked with the QQTs. We love everybody that's over there. We love their community. We do a lot of cross streams with them on Twitch. So it was awesome to have them as our very first sponsor for TBD Wrestling. We have a lot of more sponsors that we're going to be announcing as well. A lot
more than.
I mean, when I say a lot, I mean a couple. You know what I'm saying? We actually have none. We actually, the QQTs aren't even a sponsor. You know, that was just for the love of the game. You know, if you want to financially support us, by all means. Yeah. You know.
Subscribe to the TBD OnlyFans.
The Goonly fans.
The TBD OnlyFans.
Hey, but now on the real, the biggest way y'all can support is just liking and sharing everything, commenting, tell your friends, get that engagement up. That's the biggest and easiest way to support. Is just getting our reach as far as possible, more than anything. Especially because that's all it's about. Really, is like we just want to create beautiful stuff, and so the more people that see that, the more it means to us, and the more we'll appreciate it.
I think we forgot to mention this when we were announcing talent. I just thought about this, and when you sang engagement, all that thing, it made me remember. But one of the most viewed things we've actually put out thus far is the announcement of our commentary team for TBD Wrestling Presents Underground Sound.
Oh my God.
which our commentary team for the show is myself, Phoenix Nitro, alongside New Japan Wrestling's English commentator who just came off a very successful Wrestle Kingdom and Wrestle Dynasty, the Shoot Waxing Gibbous, Walker Stewart.
Shoot Waxing Gibbous.
Shout out to Walker Stewart.
Shout out to Walker Stewart. Goon Squad member as well, Walker Stewart.
Yes, sir.
You were so close, Tyler. Like you were in the top 5.
Some might even say top 4.
It can come down to you've already got one of you already on the comment. It can't have 2 of you.
Can't have many.
That was really what it came down to. Y'all are too similar. Yeah.
I would like to request that my sponsorship money goes towards booking Trayvon Ali.
Well,
we can figure that out.
We can make that happen.
Yeah,
make that work. Yeah.
Trey, I guess you're bugged.
Maybe live here on TBD we have learned. You know.
I guess Trey's book. Breaking news. Trey's book. I guess.
Now go get some fucking promo pics with them beads, you motherfucker.
So happy.
Yeah, go get some promo pictures with them beads.
Yeah.
Oh, I got an appointment set. I'm so happy.
Oh, let's go.
You motherfucker, you better not smile. Making it fucking tough for everybody putting you on a poster like,
we want you to look angry 24/7.
Hold on, I got you.
Oh, get back
just doing this with the beads.
But on the real, support TBD Graps, support TBD. Please follow the vision or tell us that you think it sucks. We're open to criticism. I genuinely thank you guys for having us on for real.
Yeah,
Trey, again, we love you guys. Thank you for having us on to yap about all this bullshit that we got going on. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
I warm it up like Kane in his prime.